right. I guess first and foremost, just need to make sure everybody can hear me okay. I don't do a lot of live streams these days, so I'm not saying I'm new to it, but here we are. So if I get a thumbs up or just a A-OK or something on the fact that the audio is good, that would be awesome. Blackmagic ATEM. ATEM. Yes. ATEM, OBS, 4K cameras, Insta360, another camera for, I guess, call it B-roll, stuff like that. Hearing if I might be a little hot. Awesome, thank you. Turn it down a couple dB. Appreciate that. I usually do a lot of things in kind of post or whatever because I don't do a lot of live. But think about changing that. So that's kind of some of the stuff we're going to talk about in this stream in particular. Yeah, so how is everybody? Is everybody good? Let's do. There we go. So welcome to Black Friday here in the United States and wherever else they give you special shopping deals right before Christmas so you can buy more than you should and spend more money than you should and put more debt on your credit cards than you should. So decided to do a quick stream or a stream. I don't know how quick it's going to be. We're going to talk about some deals that I'm aware of, some deals with, actually Prusa, KB3D as mentioned, right? Swiss, Micro Swiss, some Amazon deals. I have an Amazon shop. It's kind of like an affiliate thing or whatever. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to talk about some of the products that are on sale at KB3D that I recently purchased to try out. I'm also going to talk about kind of a weird thing that I wound up getting because I have another program I'm part of where I get things that aren't necessarily available to everybody yet. But they basically, I don't know, I guess a dry run, test run for things. And I'm kind of confused about one of them, so I want some insight. And then I want to talk a little bit about the upcoming rat rig build and basically what that's going to look like and get some feedback possibly from folks on how they want to see it. Got a tablet out so I can keep up on the chat because my actual editing computer is over there, which is one I do all that stuff on. So yeah. All right. So yeah, so let's jump right into it. Black Friday 2024, and we're actually looking at some deals. Make sure that's good. Yeah. So hello to everybody. We got a few people on right now. I just want to say hi. Everybody give a shout out on here. Rob, Happy Manufacturing. Some other people here. It looks like we got about a dozen people or so. So we'll jump right in this right now. It's going to be recorded and live. And I may also edit this down and put it up as a non-live stream, but kind of an edited version of the live stream a little bit later today. We'll see. So anyways, we're going to start off here with KB3D. And the reason we're going to start off with KB3D is because I'm a big fan of Chris. Chris has done me well over the years and seems to have pretty damn good pricing on a lot of things and has what he calls epic deals this year. I got my own little list right here that I had before the website went live. So I'm going to kind of go over the website real quick, and I'm also going to talk about things here in case I missed them on the website. So first and foremost, he's got a bunch of LDO kit discounts here. We got $4.99 for a ender wire, or switch wire, I should say. Ender wire is when you convert a ender into a switch wire. But basically, it's probably on the lowest scale of all the Voron printers, if you will. It is a bed slinger. It's the only bed slinger that I'm aware of from Voron. So if you're into a bed slinger, and bed slingers, there's nothing wrong with a bed slinger, but it is a lot of mass being moved on the axes. So it's kind of a reason why a lot of people don't do with them. But there are some other benefits that come along with that, some ease of building, some things like that come along with that. And for $500, you can't go wrong. I mean, you can't buy, well, you can, but you can't buy a kit for less than that for that type of product. You know, that's a very good price for that right there. Ordered about 35 things from Rob. Yeah, I also ordered a bunch of stuff too. I'm not going to talk about what I ordered specifically, but I'm going to talk about a couple things I've ordered in the past, specifically some filament things, because that's really good. Yeah, it's a really good deal. I agree. So LDO motors, again, with the Milo Mini Mill kit. If you're into that type of thing, you want to do some CNCing, some aluminum, some wood, some plastic, some basically, as opposed to additive manufacturing, you got some CNC here. So one thing that I want to make note to people out there that are watching or thinking about doing something like this is think about the possibilities of being able to not only do the CNCing, but if you do some additive manufacturing, then you can go back and then do some CNC, some additional parts, some aluminum parts with your plastic parts that you're printing. You know, you pair up some awesome carbon fiber polycarbonate or even ASA polycarbonate or some AS, we'll get into that too, or some ASA carbon fiber, glass fiber filled filaments, which I guess I'm up there, we'll grab it. And you know, some aluminum plates. You can really build it's amazing what you can build these days. You know, if you can buy it on the shelf, when it comes to a physical good, you know, when it comes to a camera housing or a mount or nearly anything really that's out there, these days you can pretty much make anything you want with Fusion 360, the right plastics, possibly a CNC and some hardware. It's just endless. It's endless what you can do. So, and that's a message to everybody. I mean, a lot of people know that already, but to the people that are thinking about getting into this hobby, or people that are younger and maybe don't have enough money to buy the things on their own, but are looking to parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, things like that, it's an amazing community to be part of. I like to think I'm very helpful, but there are plenty of very helpful people out there. On top of all that, the learning that can be had in this environment where you're actually creating things you can physically touch, but you're also dealing with software. You're dealing, you know, it's so wide range. Pretty much, if you get into this, it's endless. It's endless the possibilities that you can get into. So, anyways, this is a big one right here for me. This is the CookieCad Ambrosia Greengate Snow Labs, and then I think that's it. From KB3D, not the largest known brands. It's not the, you know, the Polymaker of filaments, but Polymaker just makes a ton of filament. They've engrossed the whole market. Chris is more of the boutique style, and usually when you go to a boutique, you get sometimes a little bit of a higher quality product. You get stuff that's hand picked. And you get stuff that is going to work right with you and it's going to have somebody standing behind it, Chris, or K Chris or C Chris or whoever else is over there. And honestly, I'm going to actually click into this real quick because there is a lot to be said in here throughout. And I really want to talk quickly about some PLA because a lot of people have poo-pooed PLA recently. And I'm going to look at this CookieCad right here, this Blue Star stuff. I ordered this Blue Star stuff because I wanted some Blue Star stuff, and I had a reason for it, and here it is. I wanted to do some Christmas ornaments, and this Blue Star stuff seemed like it'd be perfect for it because not only is it kind of a lightish, bluish, silverish, whitish, I don't know, damn near perfect color for that type of thing, but it also has a sparkle in it. And these came out great. I actually printed these last night just because I knew I was doing this. Plus, the daughter wants to put the tree up relatively soon. So, just great product. I printed. I didn't have to adjust anything. I didn't have to modify. I actually used my Polymaker settings for this in Orca Slicer. Came out no issues whatsoever. I will say I'm using a Chris PEI bed or a KB3D PEI bed on my printer too, which are also on sale. But these came out great. They have great colors. They have great, you know, they're slightly translucent if you put a light behind them, so you can hang them in a window or anything like that. And those are, if you're interested in something like that, those the files for those the STLs are straight off printables. Just look up Snowflake. I also printed this off for my daughter. This was a test run before I did those. I printed this off about a week or two ago. And this, I call it a salamander, but it's got a special name. But this is a print in place. Again, came out perfect. PLA is pretty easy to print, but this just came out nice. Nothing sticking, nothing whatever. And like I said, I just used my Polymaker settings on it. It was no fuss. Went right in, went right out, worked fine. So that's a filament right there that we're looking at right here. This CookieCad PLA Blue Star stuff. Really like it. Let's see here. Cool color. Yes, I like the color. That's the only thing I don't like about ABS ASA. The color options are limited in comparison. I agree with that 100%. And it gets even more limited when you start dealing with some of the higher end plastics. When you deal with the carbon fibers or the glass fills, or if, I mean polycarbonate. Go find me a sparkle blue polycarbonate. I dare you. But it's because of how many people are buying it. You know, this community in general, the people that I tend to be around are probably for the most part on the upper tier. If we go, you know, middle, low, high, of people that do printing. So a lot of people have moved away from PLA, but it works great for models and toys and things like that, I think. Plus you can print it relatively quickly, and they hold up pretty well. And it's cheap. Let's not forget, PLA is cheap. But anyways, yeah, so there's a ton of PLA being sold because, you know, as with anything, the lower third of that market and below are people that are just getting into the hobby and whatnot, and there's just a ton of people doing that. So I think all the manufacturers sell more PLA than any other type of plastic out there. So of course they make more colors, more flavors, if you will, of those types of plastic because of that. So that's why we find that, you know, and as time progresses, we're also finding more and more. I mean, there was a time, and I don't know how much of this shows up here, but I got about 50 rolls of filament around me, and I would say probably 80% of them are ABS or ASA. But there was a time where you really couldn't get more than probably 4 or 5 colors of ABS. You know, you get your black, you can probably get a gray, you get like a blue, a red, you know, and outside of that, you were digging. You know, maybe you find a green here or there or an orange someplace, but there wasn't a ton of that stuff. So it's come a long way in the past 2 to 3 years. Let's keep that in mind. So I mean, Voron black and red were not only probably done as a design, you know, thing by the team that they like black and red, but they're readily available colors. So anyways, yeah, so it's Cookie Cat stuff. I love the color. I love the way it looks. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go into some other filaments. And I'm going to go into the ASA filaments. And I'm going to look at this Ambrosia now. This one's not open. Actually, I'll grab another one too. I have, well, actually look at this one first. This is, and I paid for all these. I'm putting this out there right now. I've done it before, but I'll put it out right now. I've never received anything for free from Chris. At the very best, I've gotten a discount for graphic work that I've had put on like panels or something like that because I did all design, and I've also done other designs for Chris for other people. So I am the best unpaid sales associate Chris has, I like to say. So this is Ambrosia filament right here, and this stuff. Where's my open spool? I think it's on the printer. This stuff right here prints like a dream. I haven't. When I say that, keep in mind I'm talking about the Ambrosia ASA. I have not tried this right here. This is the actual polycarbonate ABS product. So this is a mixture of polycarbonate and ABS. So you're going to get some of those properties from the polycarbonate, some of that hardness that you don't normally get with ABS. I mean, ABS is actually pretty flexible and meldable, but it's additional temperature. This prints right now, let's see here, they're saying 250, 280. So you're looking at, you know, probably about 20, 30 degrees additional on that. With a bed temperature of 100 to 110, which is about the bed temperature I print my ABS and ASA at. So a little bit more expensive, but this kind of gets you into that ballpark of printing with polycarbonate, because polycarbonate is not the easiest plastic to print with. Matter of fact, it's kind of hard. So on top of that, you know, just great product right there. And let's see if I can find what they are for price on that right now. ASA Duos, no. Sparkle, no. ASA, and we want ABS. So let's go to ABS. ABS. So ABS Plus, ABS Dark, ABS. Where'd it go? Well, that's interesting. I can't even find it. Well, it's in here, and you need to go look for it. We'll just say that. It should be right here. All right, so PC ABS. Here we go. So $29. But again, you have the buy 4 get 1 free right now from Chris's website, which talk about a little trick on that real quick in a second, and Chris is probably going to poo-poo me for it. But the trick on that is probably a shortcoming. Again, sorry, Chris, but I got to say it because I placed an order this morning, which included some filament. But I think there's a shortcoming in his cart, and hopefully I don't ruin this for everybody if it's a mistake and Chris sees this. But basically, it's up to $35 value on that reduction of the plastic you buy. Now, if you buy 4, even if, from what I could see, even if those plastics are all under $35, so if you buy, 4 rolls of, or 5 rolls of PLA, it will still do a $35 discount on your purchase. So you're actually getting more than a roll free. So just test that out for yourself. I'm not 100% sure. On my order, it's what it looked like, but I can't be 100% sure on that. Another quick look here. This is some ambrosia filament. This is the, what is this called? This is called Super Blue. And Super Blue looks pretty super. It's a pretty super blue. I would compare it closely to a Sparta 3D blue, only it's slightly bluer. It's like a Superman blue, TM, all that stuff. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that, because you can never tell these days. But basically, it's just a little bit brighter than the Sparta. The Sparta blue is called their fluorescent blue, so super bright blue on this. I like it a lot. I could definitely see something with this with a black and blue, or something like this with like a blue and maybe an orange, or something really contrasting colors. That would look awesome. So anyways, that's filament on KV3D's website. I'm going to set these back away. It's just an awesome deal, especially take advantage of what I think is a mistake or a shortcoming of his cart with the filament with the $35. So keep that in mind. All right. See here, the Dark Magic from Cookie Cat is sweet. I'm also doing a build now, planning on using it for the Stealth Burner. Awesome. Dark Magic Cookie Cat. So Cookie Cat's mostly PLA. Is that Dark Magic available in ABS, or are you just going to use PLA on the Stealth Burner? Hopefully just the front of it. I would not use anything other than an ABS or an ASA if it's on the mechanical parts of that. Just saying. Throat's getting a little dry here. All right, so that was the quick there with the filament and the Epic deals right here. We will continue on. I will say a special shout out to LDO on here. He's got a bunch of LDO deals. He also has the Sovol deals on here as well. Let's take a look at that rail now, because this is a little tip, a little trick if you're thinking about 3D printing but you haven't done it yet. I'm going to tell you right now that if you haven't done 3D printing, you're thinking about getting into it, and you want 3D printing as a hobby, not 3D printers as a hobby, there's a big distinction there. Look around, check it out. The Sovol printers are awesome. A lot of them are clones, or the SV08 is a clone of the Voron printer. Of course, being a clone, it's manufactured in such a way that reduces the cost of the manufacturer, Sovol, but they've stuck to the root core of what that printer is and how it works. Which means that it functions pretty much the same way that the one that you would build would. Still running the same software, still doing all those same things. So it's an awesome pickup. If you're looking to get into printers, Sovol makes some awesome printers to get into. Prices are right. And right now, Chris has this Sovol SV06 for 15% off additional. And that puts it under $180 and also qualifies it for free shipping. I tried to get Chris to include, I mentioned to, I didn't try to do anything. I can't try to get him to do anything. But I mentioned to Chris maybe throwing in some free filament when you purchase a printer. And maybe he'll do something like that between now and Christmas or something if he upgrades these discounts, or gets rid of these discounts, but then had some packages. Because I think it'd be awesome if somebody sold like Chris, and again, the boutique type seller. Because if you're going to buy a printer, you're going to buy some filament. So you might as well package them together for people so they have them. Also, if you're going to build a printer, you're going to possibly either need to buy ABS or ASA for the parts you're going to make your printer out of, or you're going to want some good filament as soon as you get that printer. So if you do buy a printer, whether you're a seasoned pro or you're just starting, and you get something like the Sovol, make sure you get some filament with it too. trust me, it's fun to have multiple colors, if for nothing else. And even the simplest printers, so, such as this one we're looking at right now, with some simple commands. Look back at some of my videos, look back at some other videos, 3D Printer Nerd, but bunch of stuff out there from a bunch of different people making content. It's real easy to do switchovers for filament colors, so you can do some multicolor printing and things like that, even if you don't have an IDEX or a multi-filament, dispensing unit, an AMS or something like that. There's ways to do a bunch of that stuff, so creativity is the key when it comes to it. So we have that right there. All right, so now let's go on to 10% off everything else on here. I don't know why he put that in this order, but yeah, so everything that doesn't have a discount on it, it's 10% off everything else using code BF2024, so Black Friday 2024, and that's everything else. So I don't know if that includes discounted or basically is he's got a section in here for clearance. It may. There's usually not a lot in there because he doesn't hold a ton of stock, but it might not. You'll have to check it with him if it does. If it does not. Other awesome deals here, and we're going to start moving through a little bit quickly after I talked about that filament thing, because that really was big for me, is Big Tree Tech. 50% off Big Tree Tech. Now, Big Tree Tech, if you're not aware, which you must be under a rock if you aren't, makes pretty much any product you need. You can make a whole printer using this Big Tree Tech products for the most part. They make from controller boards, they make different extruders, they make hot ends, they make pretty much everything you need, and I wasn't even aware of this, but it looks like well, yeah, I am aware of that now. They make the build plates for the Pandas. They also have their own Eddy, which is basically like a beacon. We're going to get to beacon in a little bit. So basically the Eddy, the only problem I have with the Eddy is the fact that it utilizes its own version of Clipper until maybe things get forked back in, but it's there, screens, things like that. It's awesome. Big Tree Tech has in the past provided me with some things, so I'll put that out there as well. But again, this is an unbiased free advertisement for them on that. On top of that, LDO Motors Positron kit. Now this right now is probably one of the hottest kits out there in terms of printers, and it's a lot different than most other printers because it prints upside down. There are benefits to a printer that prints upside down. I don't necessarily need one, but if you're looking for something that's a little bit different, or if you're looking for something that's ultra compact that you can bring to and fro, if you're a college student, or if you might want to do a little 3D printing at work or something like that, nothing too big, because this does not have a huge print surface, but basically something, a smaller print bed, something you can easily bring with you places. Printing upside down, just one key note on that. The biggest thing is the fact that your overhangs are no longer overhangs, right? Because everything's kind of an overhang, but nothing's an overhang. So keep that in mind with the Positron. That's kind of an awesome little thing there, awesome little printer to have, and at that price you can't go wrong, right? So on top of that, we have LDO Motors Rook. The Rook is another small printer, not quite as small as Positron, but more of a lot like the V0 from Voron. And this one you're looking at about $300. Very nice printer, very small printer, very compact. Does not fold up like the Positron, but it's still a very nice printer to have. And then we also have, we already talked about Solvol, but we have 50% off there. And then we have, which is, if I was going to buy a Voron kit today, or this season, I'm not buying any Voron kits this fall. I got a rat rig I got to build and some other stuff too. But this right here for $1,100 for the Voron 2.4 Rev D kit from LDO, which means that it's going to come with that Leviathan board. It's going to come with a bunch of upgraded parts that used to cost extra, which is really really great. Yes, it's a killer price on that. Let's see here if there's any other things here to talk about. Nope, we're good. Okay, good. So yeah, so that is a killer price on the Voron. Usually you're looking at about $1,300, $1,400 for that. So with the $1,100 on this Voron 2.4 kit, that gives you enough money to buy the printed parts if you're just getting into the hobby. Now, I have two complete video series of building a 2.4. One goes way back to when I first started. Video production is horrible, but I was green as green could be. I had started off with an Ender 5. My journey actually started off with an Ender 5 where what did I want to do? I wanted to do something. Anyway, so I had to change out the control board. Maybe I wanted silent steppers. I don't know. But then I learned about Clipper. So I did Clipper because I got sick of Marlin because I didn't want to compile firmware every time I wanted to use it on the printer. So I got in the Clipper, and I got in the Clipper, and I started reading about Voron. There you go, waterfall, right? So anyways, awesome deal right here on this Voron at $1,100 pretty much. And again, free shipping on that on KB3D. And let's scoot right over here to 20% off. So 20% off of LDO motor parts. LDO is a lot like Big Tree Tech, maybe not an expansive of a amount of products, but they make kits, which are really nice. So we got the Millennium here. We have the pre-order on, let's look at this real quick. This is the Box Turtle kit. Now, some of you guys watching this now or watching this later may have heard of the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder. I always mess up how that is, but I basically call it we'll call it the Upset Rabbit because I have seen a lot of people build them. I've read a lot of blogs or vlogs about people building them and whatnot. And I have no fault against anybody, but it's a very complicated build. And I think it takes a lot of tinkering and tuning to get it to work. And because it's complicated, it takes tinkering and tuning to get it to work. That leads to, over time, requiring additional tinkering, tuning to continue to get it to work. And it's just not something. I've had plenty of people, probably over a dozen people, maybe 24 people, ask me to build one, or if I want to build one, what do I think of it? And I'll tell you right now what I think of it is it's an awesome idea. A lot of work went into it. No fault against the people that have worked on it, no fault against the people that have built them, but I'm not interested in building it because it requires too much maintenance. Box Turtle. So the Box Turtle is, I don't want to call it what the carrot feeder should have been, but basically it is an AMS type product, and it's a little bit more simplified. Doesn't require as much tinkering. They tend to work really well. They work long term, and a lot of people have been using them. A lot of people have them now. I have mine on pre-order well before this deal right now, but there's 10% off right now that they have on here as well. I don't know if that's going to go away because it was, since it was on pre-order, it was 10% off. Taking a little drink here. But here's the thing is if you are looking for multicolor and you want to build something to give you multicolor, this is the direction I'd go into right now. I would not do a carrot feeder. I have not done a carrot feeder. I would not do one. But I am doing, and I will be doing, a Box Turtle, and I will be doing a complete build of that Box Turtle. So we'll talk about that. We'll have a full build series of that coming up soon. I believe this is going to come in probably about the end of the month, if I'm not mistaken. So let's, yeah. So we'll be doing that, and if you're interested in that, it'd be a good thing to buy. Other things from LDO. So like I said, they make kits like the Box Turtle, but they also have a lot of parts. They have belts. I have not used LDO belts. I've used Gate belts, but I assume the LDO belts are probably the same, maybe rebranded. Hopefully they have the same fiber in them and everything like that. But LDO motors, LDO boards, things like that. Wiring kits, fans, hot ends, extruders. LDO makes a ton of stuff, and be able to have an additional 20% off of all that stuff is just crazy. Wait a second. Chris, is the Box Turtle 10% off or 20% off? Because I only got 10% off. Now I feel scorn. I should have waited. All right. Oh well. It is what it is. Lightweight labware, like kinematics type things on them, and titanium extrusion backers. It's hard to say. So I'm a big fan of kinematics kits. I am a decent fan of extrusion backers. I don't know. Extrusion backers, I think implementation of them is a little bit odd, but anyways, I'm not a physics guy. But anyways, kinematics makes sense to me. I like kinematics. I do suggest anybody that's looking to build a printer that wants something that requires less maintenance to consider doing a kinematics setup on those. So, go away. Let's see here. Let's get back to where we were. And then we're going to be 60% off, 30. Oh, let's do E3D. Only the 0.8 millimeter nozzles. I'm guessing that Chris has an overstock of those, right, Chris? But here's the thing. and I'll mention it for a couple different things. 0.8, this is a brass nozzle. So Windows are brass, but 0.8 is actual a good nozzle, 0.6, 0.8 to do filaments with glass-filled or carbon-filled filament because they're less prone to get jammed up. When you use a smaller, a 0.4, there's possibilities that go way up, 200-300% more chance that that will get jammed up inside of there. But when you go to a larger filament with a larger nozzle on there, less of those issues. Now, 0.8, if you have an IDEX machine or you have a machine or where you basically you're able to utilize different nozzles for different print portions of a print. If you use a 0.8 on your infill, you're going to blast through that print a lot quicker if you're doing infill. Another thing to keep in mind too with a 0.8, if you're doing a lot of mechanical or weight bearing or things that require some additional strength, but don't necessarily need to be refined. You don't need to see small details. 0.8 is a great way to go on that because you're going to get something stronger. The thicker your actual layers are and the wider and everything else that goes along with that, the more strong your print will be. And that goes for, or along with and against how many layers you have in terms of how many wall layers you have or how many base and top layers. Because it's not just the quantity of layers, but also the thickness of those layers. So if you have 3 layers of 0.8 and you have, say, 6 layers of 0.4, your 0.8 is going to be a stronger print in general because those layers or those walls are thicker. So keep that in mind. Last thing here on Chris's website is his 6% off Overhang Labs resin. I'm guessing again, probably an overstock on that. Looking to get rid of it. I'm not into resin printing. I don't want to deal with the mess personally. I don't want to deal with the smell, the mess, all those types of things. But if you're into that type of thing, if you need some resin, I have no idea if it's good resin or not. I'm going to assume it's pretty decent if Chris carries it. But at that price, if you need some, even if you don't like this particular type of resin, it might be something good to try out just to have as you need it. So let's cut back over from the deals for a second. I want to talk about this company that I got some stuff from that I want to look at. And that company is called DeRuzel. And this in particular is what I want to talk about for a second. Let's see if we got to say hello to anybody. It's an Ender 3 of MMUs. It's not meant to be a dig of MMUs. I would agree with that. You have a good month for the Rat Rig, the Turtle, busy time coming up. Yes, very busy time coming up. And we got to finish up that Trident, which is behind me. We're pretty much at the point in video, not necessarily in video that have gone out, but in video in general, to the electronics point. So let's talk about E3D real quick. Let's talk about the Revo. Revo is a patented product, and this little guy right here is the majority of that patent, which is basically the single hand, nozzle and heat break in one portion here, the way this is designed. Now, I am aware that they are licensing, or you can, as far as I know, license this design to build your own, but I have no idea if this company has licensed this or not, so this is where this gets interesting. And I don't know if anybody knows, if anybody can provide any information on us, but this company has sent me what looks like an E3D Revo nozzle. It's a hardened unit. It's got a tungsten carbide nozzle. So the tip on this is tungsten carbide, and I can see it because it looks gray compared to the shiny metal. And then the rest of this is some type of steel, I believe, like a high or some type of composite of steel, some alloy of metals to make it harder. But it tit for tat looks exactly like the Revo nozzle, with the exception of the actual tip here. The tip is a little bit bigger than what's on the Revo, but that's not a big deal. But the rest of it, the heat break and everything else, is exactly the same. So if anybody knows if these guys have licensed this, I'd be interested. And I hope I'm not like burning any bridges or anything here, but that's just something I wanted to send out there to people, and I figured this would be a good place to do it because I'm a big fan of E3D and their products, and hopefully they're not getting you know, bamboozled here with this product. I do want to try this out. I'm hoping it works really well. I am interested in it, but they also sent me another nozzle here. This is a Ruby one, but basically, and they look legit. I mean, these are nice looking cases, nice looking products. This one's a Ruby tip unit. So, but I just hope they're you know, dotting their I's and crossing their T's in terms of doing what they're supposed to be doing with E3D and doing what's right. So we'll jump back into it here. And MicroSwiss, another smaller company. Let's see here. What do we got here for messages I missed? Welcome back. Well, I never really went anywhere. I'm just not doing live streams. We'll talk about that towards the end of this, and I want some input from you guys in terms of live streams in general. Actually, if you have any input during the stream, go ahead and leave them in there. But basically, for the past year and a half or so, I've been doing all my videos as production. So basically, I've been recording them and then fully editing them, which allows me to do a lot of things that I can't do in the live stream, you know, add graphics and things like that. But I'm thinking about doing the rat rig build as a live stream build. And I need to get kind of an offset as to who and how many people like that versus don't like that. I don't like live streams that go on forever. If I do them as a live stream build, I'm not going to do a ton of chatting during them. But I also may, and I haven't quite figured out how to, you know, how I'm going to invest the time to do it, but basically taking those live streams later and then converting them into truncated videos with maybe some graphics and things like that. So as we go on, if you have any thoughts on that, go ahead and leave some comments in here and we'll talk about that. But right now we're looking at our friends over here at MicroSwiss. Now, if you're not aware of MicroSwiss, my S's, they've been around a long time. So MicroSwiss was probably the first company that I reached out to for upgrades when it came back to my Ender. I bought my first direct extrusion extruder from my Ender. Before that was a Bowden tube. And it worked flawlessly, works great. I still have it on there to this day. No reason to change it out. I don't use the Ender much, but it's on there. And they make some great products. So right now they have some deals right now. They're doing 30% off everything, and that includes their nozzles. Actually have a MicroSwiss nozzle on my Dragon, my Phaetus Dragon that's on my Voron Minion right now. I love it. Works well. Haven't any issues with it. So they do mostly nozzles, hot ends, and extruders, and some other minor upgrades. But the products they make are really good. As far as I know, they make everything here in the United States. Everything is relatively high precision. And if you're looking for some nozzles or some things like that, MicroSwiss is a great place to go. Just want to give them a shout out here. 30% off everything is a pretty decent deal. And then I'm going to skip over me for a second. I'm going to go right here to the Beacon real quick. This is another quick one. The Beacon right now are on sale. So if you haven't purchased a Beacon, if you're thinking about getting a Beacon, now is a great time to do that. They're in stock, ship 1-3 days. They're on revision H, I believe it is. And the big thing about the Beacons, $80 normally, now they're $64 while they're on sale. The big thing about the Beacon is that, especially now, and the reason why I actually have decided to put a Beacon on my Trident is because of the touch that they've integrated into their system. Up until recently, the Beacon's been basically for scanning your bed. You could use it for probing, but it wasn't necessarily made for probing to get your Z offset. But now that you actually have a touch, I'm a big fan of anything. You know, there's a two-way street on this, because when it comes to touching your bed with your nozzle, you have some purists, the people who have been around forever and a day, will tell you that if your bed touches your nozzle, there's a problem. Which I understand that, because if the bed touches the nozzle, there's a chance it's going to mess up your bed. But here's what I'll say to that is, for most people who basically want to print from time to time and don't want to deal with offsets and modifying things and still want to be able to change their nozzles out or do different types of filaments and things like that, having a system where your nozzle touches the bed means that you don't have to deal with any human error. Other than that, you're going to be dealing with measuring or making fine adjustments, either with a slice of paper, piece of paper, whatever, you know, measuring, doing those types of things. And having a product that just touches the nozzle gets rid of that. So if you are using tap, I like tap. I don't have a problem with tap. Got it to work right. It's been flawless for me. But with the beacon, with the version they have now, with the firmware they have now, where you can actually do a touch, big fan of it. If you're interested in that, you should go ahead and try to get one of those now because it's on sale. Let's see here. Sparta 3D. So Sparta 3D is a Canadian company, and I am a big fan of their products. And they actually have a deal right now with 10% off their Rook kits. So I wanted to mention that. So if we go back to KB3D, where he's got, where was it here? His Rook for $279 for the MK1. Sparta 3D is at $499 for an MK1. So the reason why I wanted to show that, and that's Canadian dollars. So if we change that to US dollars, it's going to go down quite a bit. But I wanted to show that specifically because of the price difference and kind of give you an idea as to how good that deal is over at KB3D. But I don't want to poo-poo on Sparta 3D too much because I do love their filament. If you are interested in some filaments, they have a buy 4 get 1 free, same as KB3D. Their prices are a little bit better. Let's see here. We could do a Sparta. Let's see here. Let's go with ABS. Let's see, filaments and Sparkle PETG. Did they get out of ABS? What is going on here? Here we go. ASA ABS. So their standard ASA filament, I like their sparkle stuff, but you're looking at $21 US. This is ABS Plus, but their ASA is good as well. I've done a lot with their ASA. Yeah, they're here, I think. Is ABS? No, it's ABS Plus. Anyways, Sparta makes really great filament. The prices they have are awesome. They tend to have a ton of colors as well. I will say if you're looking for filament, they are based in Canada, so shipping might be a little bit, but usually there's an offset because the prices are so dang good that makes sense. So shout out to Sparta for their filament prices and everything like that. And good comparison there on that Rook price for KB3D. I'm going to slide back over to me and my Build It Basement affiliate shop over on Amazon. So for people that don't know, I have an affiliate shop on Amazon. I do earn commission when people buy things that have things to do with me. So I've gone ahead and if you're interested in doing that, basically it's Amazon.com and then basically /shop/build-it-basement, all one word, and that'll bring it right to me. And I have a 2024 amazing Black Friday deals. I don't know how amazing they really are, but I had to come up with something. And most of the stuff is stuff I use or stuff I've used or stuff I like. So this Dremel tool, for instance, is normally $100. It's $76. You know, put my mouth where my money is. I use this probably weekly. It works really well. I don't have to deal with a cord. Love it. It works well. Fantic, this workstation here. Another thing that's about $76. Normally it's $140. I have this one right here. I love it. It's getting a little dirty now because I use it so much. But this works really well. It's got pretty much all the odds and ends. And I love the fact that this has the built-in driver right there. Now that's not a high torque driver, but it's enough to get your screws where they need to be so you can then torque them down by hand if you need to go a little bit more. Another product here by Fantic is their Max soldering iron. I already ordered one of these for myself. Actually, it should be here on Saturday. Today is Friday. $59.99. That's battery operated. Pretty awesome for minor soldering, some small stuff. You're not going to do any huge gauge wire. I mean, you're not going to do like 8 gauge wire or anything like that. But your 22, 24, 26 gauge wires, your little circuit boards, things like that. That's awesome. I got some Polymaker on here. The Polymaker has some stuff on their website, but I just want to point out two things here. One is their ABS filament right now is 50% on Amazon, which brings it down to $18.69 with free shipping if you have a Prime membership. So again, that's under 20 bucks for a spool. That's $18.69. That's bunches of colors. So if you click on that, it'll bring you up here and you have all the different colors here. So if you're doing some shopping on Amazon and you want some Polymaker, that's a hell of a deal for 18 bucks. Also have the Creality official, their Space Pi filament dryer, 80 bucks, does 2 rolls of filament. If you just want a small filament dryer, it's a good deal. I have a large one, but that's a good deal for a small one. I got the FL Sun T1 Delta 3D printer. If you're interested in Delta, if you're thinking about Delta, for under $400, it's a hell of a deal for a Delta printer. Now, if you don't know what a Delta printer is, it basically is a printer that goes top down with arms that come down, and basically the adjustments are made. I know this looks funny, right? Are made like this. It's a completely different system. They tend to be fast. They tend to be work really well, but they are really fun to watch. I'll tell you that. Another thing here from Solvol, the SV08 at $549. That's normally a $700 printer. So again, I'm going to mention it again one more time here on that Solvol, that SV08. That's $550 for what I would consider a clone of a Voron 2.4, which if you buy a kit, it's going to be about $1,000 to $1,300. That's less than half that price on a pre-built printer that functions 90% of the way to a Voron 2.4. So big shout out to that one. The QD technology, this is the QD Plus 3. It's another great printer. There are some issues with some of these printers. QD and some of the other ones have had some minor hiccups here and there. So read up about them, see what you think about them, if you think they're safe or not. Some protection circuitry and stuff like that might not be in some of these things, but things to know. Bigtree Tech Octopus Max, that's a huge board. Pretty much the Kraken is the only board I'd say is a little bit bigger than that or more robust. And that's $71, normally $100. And then this one I actually like a lot. This is a 3D printer rack for your filaments, $60. It holds about 50 rolls for $50. So you don't have to build your own, I guess building your own is kind of cool too, but that rack right there will hold a ton of filament, probably about as much filament as I have around me right now. It's only $50, so if you don't have time to do this and you want something to hold your filament, it's a good deal right there. And then finally, you got the K1C from Creality, which is an awesome printer. If I was going to buy a pre-built printer right now, I would possibly get a K1C or a Solvol, but this K1C right now is $469, which is a great deal for an enclosed printer. Hard to beat, really. So let's look here. What do we have? We have, you need more space to your live stream rat rig. Had this spread all over the place. Yeah. If I live stream or even anything to do with the rat rig, the small stuff will be done here on the bench because I have all the camera setups and whatnot. But this camera right here is actually a wide camera, so I'll probably have a folding table out here because the 500 I'm building is roughly about 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot-ish. So it is a big boy. You're absolutely right on that. Affiliate link not in the description, amateur. Affiliate link is not in the description, but I can put it in the description after the fact. Matter of fact, I could type in it right now if I wanted to, but I'm no problem. I am an amateur. I'd rather be an amateur YouTube streamer and affiliate than an amateur 3D printing guy. So I'll take the amateur salesperson as a positive because I'm not a salesperson. Let's see here. Where was the Beacon Black Friday? Need another from my Voron. So the Beacon Black Friday is right on the Beacon website. Beacon only sells through very limited amount of vendor, and 90% of that's directly through them. So if you go to Beacon's website, you'll find it right on there. Let's see, Renee kind of made it. Good for you. Thank you, Renee. Let's see here. Good to see I'm not the only person that keeps stuff in their cart. Oh yeah, I think it's my wife and my kids actually. Doggy toothbrushes, to be honest. Let's see here. Let's see. Box Turtle still on sale. Yes, the Box Turtle is still on sale. Actually, I got words for Chris because I believe the Box Turtle currently is on sale for 20% off instead of the 10% off. But I need clarification because on the page it doesn't say 20, but on the page before that it says 20. So I can help Chris about that. Drop in the chat. All right, let me drop it in the chat. Let's see here. Amazon.com /shop /build a basement. I'm an amateur. You got me. There you go. At least I have stuff, right? All right. Love your short instructional videos. We'll be using them when I start building my 2.4 after printer parts arrive. Sorry about that. Thank you. And I don't think they're short personally. I like them to be shorter. I'm actually working actually the remainder of the Trident videos will be a little bit shorter. YouTube's kind of finicky. It's hard to figure out exactly what they want. And actually, let me do that there. So you guys are looking at a little me and a big screen, but so little call to action here again, since somebody mentioned about the shorter videos with the 2.4 build, and I love making those types of videos. They're fun to make. They're very in depth, I feel, or pretty in depth, but they take a lot of time to do, to try to do them well, because I'm a jack of many trades, proficient at some and not a master of any. But when you make videos, you have not only the actual thing you're doing, which might be building something. On top of that, you have the recording of that, and then on top of that, you might have some video editing, and that's a lot of work. So with this rat rig, this is basically, saying it again, I need your input on this. Is, do we do them live and then possibly edit them down later? Maybe edit them and make them available to members on the channel? Because I will tell you, the effort for me, at least the extra effort, is in the editing, because I can spend probably roughly 3 times as long to edit the video than it does to record the video. So if I do an hour of building something, it's probably 3 hours of editing in that. And it's not, I don't think that's outside the ordinary. I think it's very, very, very much what it's like. So yeah, if you have ideas about that, let me know. You're absolutely right. Need more space. Got that. We're good. All right. So back to where we were at, and I'm going to slide over to Prusa, one of our favorites, right? So I don't own a Prusa printer, but everyone that owns a Prusa printer, as far as I know, is happy with their Prusa printer. So Prusa deserves a big shout out here. Because what they're doing is they're bundling a bunch of stuff with their printers. So let's look at the Prusa XL assembled single tool head printer. They're throwing in additional things such as a camera, filament, and additional bed, spring plate beds with PEI on them for the original price, and getting you free shipping on that as well. So you're saving approximately about $350, I'd say, on that, give or take, all in for the shipping and everything else comes with that. They're saying $250 worth of gifts. I'm saying about $100 worth of shipping, give or take. So in all, you're saving yourself maybe $350. So that's a pretty good deal, and they're doing that across the board with all of their printers. So even if you're buying a lower end Prusa like the MK4, you're also still going to get the additional gifts, and actually it looks like they're doing $300 worth of gifts with the MK4, so it's a little bit more. They're also doing it with their Delta right here. So with their Delta, they're providing you with a free Prusa Mini when you buy their Delta. That's an expensive printer for $10,000, but it's there, right? If your wallet affords that and you're thinking of getting that, there you go. And then they also have some resin printers here that are coming with free color kits. They also have upgrades here, so an upgrade, estimated lead time 1 week, but yeah, so clearance sale too. So clearance sales on some of the MK4 printers. So $619 for an MK4 right here in black, which it only comes in one color as far as I know, so black and orange. So right here, $619 clearance sale, free shipping, $619 for an MK4. If you're looking for a Prusa, it's a hell of a deal. Prusas are used often in schools as well. So if you have some deep pockets and you want to help out some kids and whatnot, and the school will accept that printer, that is a good printer right there to put in the school as an MK4 with free shipping. Help some kids out, right? My wife's a teacher. I like to help the kids out. Let's see, what else we got here? Let's see here. I had 20 plus hours in the rat rig build and had all the tools in good plan, so very little wasted efforts. Okay, it's 20 hours plus. That's not too bad. They say a normal Voron build's about 40 hours, so 20 hours for the rat rig, which I was expecting to be a little bit less too. So that's really good. Seriously eyeing the Core 1. Nice. There are several examples of live streaming a vCore 4, so I believe fully edited for content would be more help to the community. Okay. I I haven't really seen much for videos for the VCore 4. And keep in mind too, this is going to be a VCore 4 IDEX with the hybrid and everything else like that. And trying to work out in my mind what we're going to do. I know that the RatRig OS is Klipper, just pre-built, but I don't know if how difficult it's going to be to basically bring maybe the box turtle into the RatRig. So that would afford me the ability to have an IDEX printer with, you know, a single print head with, you know, whatever I want on it, and then the other one with a box turtle on it. So basically an IDEX printer with a box turtle on it. And I know it's going to be complicated. I know there's software issues and some Klipper issues there and whatnot, but it's something I have in the back of my mind that maybe eventually we're going to work towards. So we got that. Another call to action, I should say, is right here with this. Let's see, this is the EMS system. And I'm thinking about using this on my Trident. I'm at the point now where I got to make a decision because we're at the electronics point. And I got to be honest, is I like the idea of this. I know this looks like a mess right now, but I like the idea of this. And if you're not aware of what this is, let me get that up on the screen real quick. Basically, it is a system for mounting your electronics inside of your printer, as opposed to using the DIN rails. So let me see if I can get one here like that. So this allows you to basically mount on your grid pattern, kind of like the wall mount system that you may have seen. It's pretty neat. There's lots of stuff that allows you to do it, but there are some shortcomings in terms of how to use it, where to use it, and documentation for it. So I guess, have people used this, or people watching this, have they used this? And if so, did you like it? And if you haven't, are you interested in this? Would you be interested in a video maybe mostly about this? Or do I skip onto it and just do my electronics and just basically cover this briefly? So I'm interested in anybody has any information about this EMS system, this grid system, because it interests me, but I don't know how much. So yeah, let's see here. I just put EMS on my Trident 350. Okay, cool. How was it? Did you like it? How'd it work? Are you happy with it? All those good things. Let me know. IDEX is not fully vetted yet. They are pretty much writing the commissioning guide for the process through the community. Super cool, but man, not easy. Huh, okay. Well, I have a complete IDEX kit here, so they better figure it out. If they don't, then we're going to have some problems, because it's going to look really bad on video when I'm starting to do my IDEX based on the information they have, and it's not working, which I hope isn't the case, but based on what you're telling me, it might be. So yeah, let's see, what else do I want to talk about real quick? Amazon link, 3B stuff. Let's see here. Chris didn't mention on that big thing, but originally he had 20% off selected hand tools. So I'll mention that too. And I think it's still there. It just wasn't mentioned in the where we went to real quick. 20% off 3DO. I also want to talk about that with the nozzle camera. If you're looking to do that, I did that on one of my printers. Pretty neat thing to do. Outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to mention before we button this one up. Before we button this up, I'll do this one last time, is if you're not in the chat right now and you're not telling me right now, it's cool, but leave a comment in the video. I want to know how the community at whole wants me to do this RatRig build. I'm going to start it very soon. And when I say very soon, I'm talking about within the next week or so. And I want to know if I want to do them live, or do I want to do them as a build series. And I really need your input. What are you going to watch, honestly? Because if no one's going to watch it, then I don't need to do it. And I can build a printer myself and be happy and probably get done a lot quicker, and probably get right into printing with it. So definitely leave me comments in this video and let me know what you want me to do there, because I'm willing to work with everybody and I'm willing to do what people want. But if no one's going to watch it, then, you know, what's the point? So what else we got? Like a lot, main benefit, the inverted electronics. Yeah, I'm definitely doing the inverted electronics on the Trident. I already had figured that out. but I wasn't sure about doing the EMS system or not because I do Avera Electronics with the DIN rails as well. Let's see here. Deals. Yep. Let's see here. Very good. Anything good? Let's see here. Feel like streaming is a huge distraction for me. Forgetting stuff takes 2 to 3 times longer to get things done. I agree with that 100%. Which is why if I was going to live stream them, it'd be live stream in the sense that there wouldn't be edits. I would still do, obviously, I'd obviously still do, the multi-camera shots and stuff like that. I'd come over and do that, and the monitor wouldn't be in the way. I'd still have the multi-camera thing and whatnot. But if I was going to do them live stream style, what that basically means to me is unless I had a question, I was stumped, I wouldn't be looking towards the community. I wouldn't be looking. People can chat all they want. Whatever entertains you, go for it. But I would pretty much be doing my build the same way you see in my video, with the exception of the fact that the live stream be going in the background. People can chat while I'm doing it. And maybe there might be another 20% of time where I'm looking for, a 25 millimeter screw that I can't find, where I normally edit that crap out. So, yeah, information, let me know. Let's see here. Did score some filaments. Way too much. He's still going last year. All right. So, anyways, let's go back to that. I just want to thank everybody for coming by. Hopefully you saw some deals you didn't know about, maybe some manufacturers you didn't know about. If you're interested in some of that stuff, go ahead and do utilize some of those links in terms of, not even links. You go right to KV3D. You can go right to Beacon's website. You can go right to my Amazon affiliate page. If you're looking to buy some stuff, it's awesome. If you're not, hopefully, if you're running somebody that is looking to buy something, you let them know about those deals, because again, it's all about getting people into the printing hobby, because there's a lot to be done with this stuff, whether it be making toys for kids, gifts for friends and family, or tree decorations, or whatever you're doing. There's always stuff you can do with this stuff. It can be as toyish if you like, as you like, or it can be as you can build complete parts. You can build stuff that you can use. This right here, this is from KV3D as a kit, but this is all printed parts. So keep that in mind if you're new to this. It's not all toys all the time. Printed parts are plenty strong depending on what you print them out of and how you print them, and they're good products. So with that, check the comments here one more time. And a box from, yeah. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to say have a great day. Get out there. Stay safe. We're moving in the winter here. We just got a little bit of snow last night up where I live. So stay warm. And on top of all of that, I thank you guys for stopping by, and hopefully you enjoyed the video, and see you soon. Hopefully. Check you later.